This is kind of a work. What was that? Hello there, fellow maker. Welcome down to the shop. I'm Bill, and today I'm going to go over some of the kind of more advanced airbrush tools and gizmos I've got, plus a look at some of the paints that I like to run through these guys. In past videos, I've recommended getting good starter kits of airbrushes. This is what we've been running for a couple of years. That's a little bit of an upgrade to that. Plus, I've made some recent changes. For the last couple of years, we've used these Iwata Eclipse airbrushes. They're really great. We've got a siphon fed one here and a gravity fed one here. They're dual action so that when you push down, air comes out, but no paint. Then as you slowly pull the trigger back, it will let more and more paint out, giving you a fine level of control. Now, I love these. They're awesome, but I tend to be a little heavy-handed with a lot of the paint application that I do. And these guys have a very fine nozzle. I believe this guy is something like a 0.3 millimeter nozzle. So I went out and grabbed one of these guys. These are similar to the ones that Adam Savage said he likes to use in a recent tested video. These are the Badger 200. They're single action. So when you push the button, paint and air come out at the same time. You do have some level of control. You can adjust the position of the needle through here so that when you push it out, a certain amount of paint goes through. But you can't do it as you're painting. You would adjust the flow, test it out, see how it looks, and then go ahead and lay down your paint. This fella here has a 0.75 millimeter nozzle, which is much bigger than this guy. I like that for laying down lots of paint, plus it does not get clogged quite so easily, which is a huge bonus when it comes to cleaning your airbrush. Now, I like to have several airbrushes, and you'll find the deeper you dive into the airbrush rabbit hole, you'll start to specialize and get a different airbrush for a different purpose. Since I now have several different brands of airbrushes, we got Badger and Iwata here, I have to start to consider the threads that connect all of them, because they all use different threads. Which means if you only have the one compressor, like I do, this little cheapo guy right here, you'll have to keep swapping out cables. So there is a handy solution for that. I went and got these quick disconnect adapters. This little adapter screws onto your airbrush and lives there, and the other end of it is a quick connect that goes on your cable, and you can plug that right in, which means if you have, let's say, several airbrushes lined up with different colors of paint, you can pop one off, pop the other one on, and continue painting while this guy just chills, waiting to be used later. Now, these are all Badger-sized connectors, which meant I had to go out and get an adapter, and this is the Iwata to Badger adapter. So if you have, let's say, a Pache or a Badger or an Iwata or any other different brand, you'll have to look up and get a specific adapter to go from one to the other for whichever hose and whichever airbrush you have. I decided to get a Badger hose and then adapt that to my Iwata airbrushes. But now all four of these are set up on the quick connect, and I can hook them up super quick and use them willy-nilly. Now, these particular Badger airbrushes are siphon fed, so I went and got some more of these bottles. These are big plastic bottles, they're nice and durable. The hose on the inside goes all the way down to the bottom, which is awesome for when you have just a tiny little bit of paint left. But if you're doing a lot of paint, you got the giant bottle. You can also get one of these tiny little cups. So you put that in on the right side, like so, and you can use your siphon fed airbrush and add paint to this the same way you would with a gravity airbrush. So if you want to do just a little bit and just pour a little bit of paint in that cup, you're good to go. Nice little addition for your siphon airbrushes. One of the other things I got are these little brushes, and I believe these are meant for putting glue on fake eyelashes. You heard me right, there's a specific brush for that. But these are also really super tiny brushes, and they are amazing for cleaning your airbrushes. Must have. For my compressor, again, this is just a really cheap little guy. Someday I will replace this, probably when it breaks, but it's still doing okay. I did have to get an adapter from the hardware store to go from an 1/8" NPT thread to a 1/4" NPT so that it could hook up to this Badger hose. And then I built the whole thing a nice stand, including this stand to hold my airbrushes, like so. Since I'll have several of them set up, I have several stations to hold them all, and I can swap them out as I'm painting. Now the stand that I built is mostly because I film video. This fella here vibrates quite a bit while it's working, like so, and the stand hopefully keeps it from vibrating so much that it causes an issue with my audio. This is kind of a work... What was that? This is kind of a work in progress, but so far it seems to be working out okay. Finally, let's talk a little bit about paint. Some of my very favorite paints to run through an airbrush are these Tamiya Paints. There is a ton of different colors, including some of these transparent colors, which are really great, and some super awesome metallics. To thin my Tamiya Paints, I use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. This squeezy bottle can be poured right into the cup of your brush or right into your bottle for your siphon fed job. I like to thin these paints down to about the consistency of milk. And I'm talking 2% here. None of that skim milk nonsense. So one of the other amazing benefits of using an airbrush is you have access to paints that are airbrush only. For example, these Master Metalizer Lacquers clearly say airbrush only right on the bottle. These are really amazing lacquers that give you a super nice metallic finish. This also means you can start using things like these All-Clad Lacquers. If you remember, a while ago I did Ray's Blaster, and that was all painted with these lacquers. They have the black base coat, they have their aqua gloss clear, and then a whole line of different metallics. So we have stainless steel, this is a polished brass, this is their chrome, and a whole bunch of other amazing metallic finishes. They also have these hot metal finishes that I used, for example, on the Star-Lord blaster to give it that heat scorched look on the end of a barrel. Also note that some of those, like the Metalizer lacquers, also come in a handy little spray can. Just know that if you're using your airbrush, you have way more control. So there you go. That is a look at my current airbrush configuration. It will of course change and adapt over time as I buy new tools and try them out and see which works best for my workflow. As always, all of these tools and paints here will be linked down in the description if you'd like to check them out for yourself. Also, if you have any questions about anything I've covered today, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will try my best to get back to you. Do you have any of your own favorite airbrushing tools or paints? Please share those down in the comments below. I know I'd like to hear about it, and the rest of the commenters can share in that wealth of knowledge. That's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little trip down airbrush lane. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next build. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so you don't miss any of our new weekly prop and costume tutorial videos. For more goodies, head over to our website where you'll find blueprints, tutorial books, articles, and more. We also have a second channel for our Q&A show and extra behind the scenes videos. Thanks again, and happy crafting.